Yes, envelope fan. Period.
Piece of mail.
We love envelope fans.
It's a bill
Oh,
with Supreme's name on it,
oh,
and bitches do.
oh, bam. Well, Julie, here we go. Hello, and welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And where you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. And if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I am currently drinking strawberry sunkiss. Y'all should just sponsor us by now. I drink you enough, but do that. If not, whatever. But if I was drinking anything else, I would probably be drinking it out of my cup mug.
Cut my-
And you can get your own cup mug at or any of our cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. The link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically. So here in the US. So there are no excuses. In Spain.
No
With the
excuse.
drama that y'all have caused us this week, I'm definitely looking at you. Get your cup merch so maybe I can forgive you for this episode that we're about to talk about. Thank you.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. I decided to wear a lovely Spanish-speaking Queen's shirt, and it is the one and only Margaret. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Period.
And I'm just drinking me some water. I haven't opened it yet, so we'll see how much I drink.
Love us some Margaret here at the Cup. That's my Chicago sister that does not live in Chicago. Word.
Yeah.
All right. What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? It is me, Eve the Bunny, your Chicago drag icon and queen of Ivy Park. I do have Ivy Park on. It is these pants. They are black and I like olive green houndstooth print. But they're from the Halls of Ivy drop. It's kind of a little bit warm today because we had a little bit of a heat spike today. It got up to like 65 today, so it was nice. So I don't have any bulky layers on. I'm drinking Pepsi, and I've had a bit of an eventful day today. A bit of fun on Twitter. We call that fun. Basically just based off of this episode and decisions that were made during judging and production and all of that jazz. And so I want to initially go off and say this first. To any fans of Drag Race España or to fans of Supreme and other guests, other judges on the panel, both the Javis and the Locking, I want to say that as people, I have nothing personal against any of those four people. My opinions going forward are all based off of their professional decisions in the positions that they have been put in as judges and as hosts of this program. I do feel like that certain decisions are things that are out of their control when it comes to production and things like that. But then also at the same time, I do think that we all own a moral compass. And I do think that sometimes being able to take that back seat when it comes to, I don't know, exposure or ratings or wanting to get another season and actually cultivating and making sure that people's mental health and people's well-beings and people's survival needs and things like that are being met are the kind of things that bring more longevity to the show, and they bring more character and empathy to the show. And that's the kind of stuff that make us come back for more seasons after seasons. This will be a tough review for us. I'll say that right now. But at the end of the day, to anybody in the Drag Race España family, we love all of y'all. We love every single one of the contestants. We send y'all so much love and so much positive energy and stuff like that, whatever you all are going through. Before the recording started, we were talking about how mental health and depression can look different for so many different people. And we have all sometimes been, dealing with that dragon or that demon, that has kept us in making us feel like that we weren't good enough, or we couldn't be the people that we wanted to be and shine the way that we wanted to shine, and be loved the way we wanted to be loved. And those feelings are valid, and they need to be expressed and reciprocated, and that way we can all grow and heal together. And that way we don't have people feeling like they are lost or out, or they're the only person dealing with this situation. A lot of people deal with depression and mental issues and stuff all the time. So we're going to make this one a good, strong one. We ain't gonna try to be too heavy on you. I'm gonna still throw some jokes in there, but I wanted to preface everything just in case it just started to get kind of deep or whatever, that like none of us are therapists or anything like that. We are just all three human beings living life, dealing with our own problems and our own traumas, and we're just trying to give empathy to everybody involved.
Absolutely. Well said, well said. And before we even dive into the episode, let's get some business out of the way. Subscribe to this channel if you have been here and stuck around, and listen to the PSA given by the lovely Eve the Bunny. We appreciate it, because I will make sure that is documented in the chapters below, because people need to know that that is real. But yeah, if you are a fan of us, and we appreciate you being a fan, if you are sticking around for some drag content in this review, it's going to be hard. It's going to be good. We're going to make it good. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the follow button. Hit all the things. Hit the notification bell to let you know, so you know when all the videos will drop, because we have 5 active drag shows happening right now that we are covering, and you want to see them all. You want to know when we're dropping them. Hit that notification bell. It'll let you know. If you are a fan of reality TV, we got a channel for you. Go to the Cup TV, where we put out almost all things reality TV going out. We got new shows coming out. We got shows that we've already doing. We got Traders. We got Survivor Australia. We got but then we got Survivor coming this week, and then Amazing Race is coming, and Deal or No Deal Island is coming. We got a lot of stuff coming on over there, as well as all our normal stuff, our wrestling shows and our Project Runways and all of those things that we put out there. So check that out. Go over there, hit that subscribe button, notification bell. And if you're a fan of Eurovision Song Contest, we got a channel for you. Go to the Cup ESC, where you can find out all the things about Eurovision. And from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing from the people who run that channel, it's a lot of stuff happening. It's a lot of stuff. We are right in the middle of Eurovision season. Videos are coming out constantly, because they are constantly getting more and more songs for Eurovision, getting ready for the national selections and then the final show or whatever. So get ready for that. Go over there and subscribe to that channel. If you want to join this channel, join our membership channel, right down there. You see the little join button? You see it down there, right? Hit that button. Come into the tea room, where we have exclusive content waiting for you, and more coming out on a regular basis, so you can get all the exclusive stuff that will not come out on this channel, but only you can see it if you become a become a member. Join here, or you can join to our Patreon if you're a fan of the Patreon app. Go join over there. Same content, but different apps. It's for your suiting. $5 a month, for some exclusive things. I know you want to see it. But and if you want to give us a super thanks, we appreciate that. Super thanks us. Anything that you donate to us will go right back into making this channel bigger, greater, better for you. And yeah, we appreciate all of that. And that's it. I think I said it all. I think I got it all out there, because.
And if you stay to the end of the episode, to the review, we're gonna be giving away tickets for you to purchase for free your own llama.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But you're going to want to stick around in case we give away those llama tickets.
Everything is alleged on this channel. It says so right down there in the ticker. But, llama tickets could be cool.
There it is. Everything is alleged information.
Llamas, though.
What if I want an alpaca instead?
That's next.
It might just be a dromedary camel. But you know what?
It could be next week's show though. Alpacas could be next week.
It could be. It could be some type of
Exotic.
Australian deer type animal.
A deer, bro.
Like,
A kangaroo? Are
Deer,
those deer?
zebra.
we'll name her Deerbra.
Anyway, so we are here talking about Drag Race España, episode 4. We get back into the workroom, and sadly, Paquita is gone.
Can I say one thing that I noticed? I paid attention to it last episode, and I saw it happen again this episode. And I don't know if you guys noticed it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cute. So at the beginning of each episode, they have a little mini montage of these like headdresses. That's all of the headpieces that all of the girls wore in their entrance looks. So what they would do is whenever a girl got eliminated, the last one that they would show would be the girl that got eliminated, which was the yellow one that was Paquita. And then they would show the headpieces of the girls who have badges. So they showed the headpiece of Pupi with one badge next to it, and then they showed Sethlas, with 2 badges next to it, and they showed Pupi again with 1 badge. And I noticed they did it last week with 1 and 1 when Pupi had got hers, and I was like, wait, are they doing that every time they win? That's kind of cool. So like, yeah, if you pay attention right at the beginning, they do that first little flash intro. I think it's like the black wispy one or whatever was Drag Sethlas's, and then Pupi's, I can't remember what color hers was, but it shows like they do a ranking count at the beginning of each episode.
Oh, I have to check that out and be more
trying to be all Easter eggy.
Look at that. But yeah, Paquita's gone, and well, at first we see they do theirs a little different. They come into the workroom after the drag, and then they're talking and boo, sad, boo, and Sagittaria is upset, visibly upset still about what she feels it was not the right call. Everybody's kind of like, I don't know why you're upset, or they're side-eyeing her like heavily. They're like, ugh.
Samantha is over, child. Samantha,
right, like, girl,
get over it.
They really want her to get over it. They're like, I'm like, girl, you lost. Move on. She's just like, this dress though was amazing, and she was just not feeling this decision, and they were not feeling this decision.
Right. But we also got what I was waiting for. I was like, but who would Juriji have sent home? So we see the lipstick come out, and sure enough, she had Pupi Poisson's name on that lipstick. And it's always interesting when the 2 people lip syncing don't have the same name, because then I'm like, well, that gives production and the host all the room to make whatever decision they want and pull some shenanigans if they want. And I'm not saying they did with this one, but it wouldn't surprise me. But we do get Hornella talking, and she in her confessional, and she's like, you know what? I think Sethlas took out somebody that she thought was competition, and I think it's kind of game on.
It becomes one of these kind of things where the Drag Race fandom has made the way that this game is quote unquote played such a catch-22 type situation, where if you go in and you do it honorably based off the way the judges say, or this, that, and the other, regardless if their assertion of what happened is correct or not, you're looked at as doing the game fairly, but you're actually not playing it. But then the people that actually do say, okay, well, I'm going to strategize. I am going to try to take out some strong people. I am going to try to do this, that, and the other. They're looked at like it almost becomes this thing that all the other contestants start verbally saying, like, they're not playing the game correctly, they need to go. And I feel like that the more times that the cast says that, then that gets reinforced with the fans. Like, if the cast wouldn't say anything about the fact that, like, if Pupi didn't say anything about the fact that Juriji picked her name and was just like, oh, she picked my name, oh, okay, and they just kept going, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I think the fact when that happened, and then you go to the confessional of her being like, oh, she picked my name, oh, now I can't believe she did that. Oh, now I got to get rid of her. Da, da, da. It's like it almost continues to set up the stage for this animosity that isn't really there, because this is what you guys all signed up for. Like, why are you mad at her for picking your name when she could only pick 2 names?
Mm.
like I don't get that. Like I will never ever get that. Like wasn't that just happening on on UK versus the World when Teresa's name got picked, and Teresa they're like, Keita, I'm looking out for you. Girl, you were in the bottom with another person. Who else is she gonna pick?
Who else is she gonna pick? Like,
Right.
You mad because she sent your friend home. You mad at the other girl because she sent your friend home, but the other girl was gonna send you home. So you like, how you gonna be mad at that? Like, it's either you or her. And
I would have been like, so did you want to go, girl, or not? Like,
or not? Like, what do you want?
It can only be one of y'all. I'm sorry. Unless Rue decides to do a candy wait and pull one of y'all back, I don't have any control over both of y'all's stand. I just gotta pick a name.
I did have a little bit of a theory about why Sethlas picked Paquita. And this is just a theory. This is completely a theory. But I was putting myself in her shoes. And so she just got into the Untucked part. And one of the first things she hears from Sagittaria is, you shouldn't have been in the top. Paquita should not be in the bottom. So if I'm Sethlas and I'm trying to justify, you're wrong. So if I'm taking half of that supposition that you just threw out there and I'm making that wrong, then I'm probably going to try to make both things wrong. And so I think she really justified Paquita being in the bottom in her head, which is fair. She's welcome to do that because she has the decision. But I think saying that actually might have hurt Paquita's chances of staying, because I think Sethlas had to double down on the fact, no, you're wrong. And you're wrong on both points.
I'm going to say it like this. And this is just my humble opinion. I'm not saying this is what Drag Sethlas did, or this is how she feels, or anything else. I feel like Drag Sethlas looked at Paquita and was like, you're just as cute as me. And if you stick around and I'll stick around, I want to be the cute one here. So I need you to go, because Paquita is hot and gorgeous and fine. And Sethlas is gorgeous and hot and fun. And if everybody looking, Sethlas didn't want nobody looking double taken. He wanted all the attention on Sethlas. And Sethlas said, this is my opportunity to get this competition out the way, baby. Not the competition for the crown, like on the drag, because I know I'm very secure in my drag. I'm good at what I do. But I need to be the hot one here in this group. And I need to be secured. I'm the hot one. So let me take this other hot one up out of here, period. That's just me.
And so I have a third, or a secret third option.
All right.
My assertion of the whole thing was something a lot of people didn't probably, I don't know if they thought about it or not. I don't know how people justify their scorecards. But in my mind, I feel that Drag Sethlas, when it came down to eliminating between Paquita or Pupi, they made the actual diplomatic choice based off of the 2 choices that they were given. Because Pupi had been in the top for one of their challenges and had just won a challenge. So for me, scorecard wise, I don't think Paquita should have been at the bottom. But since she was there, she was the weaker link out of the 2. So if I was Sethlas, and I wanted to get rid of a strong competitor or whatever, I would have just went ahead and got rid of Pupi, because she just won like a couple times. So I'm thinking maybe this is just a fluke week for her. Not to mention she's a comedy kind of, you know what I mean? Like, not to mention with the type of things that the challenges are looking for, I see Pupi eating challenges up more than Paquita. I see Paquita eating up runways. I see Pupi eating up more challenges. And so it's like, nah, what if I need help getting through these challenges? Because Drag Sethlas not got to worry about that runways. Paquita, how are you going to help me out?
Now in the comments, let us know whose theory you think is closest So what
Yeah.
you
I
think?
said Lana's because it was the most stupidest one at all. It's like,
No, you can pick Lana's. I
Yeah,
would love
because
it if
it
you
was
win
so
by a
stupid.
landslide.
That would be great. I'm gonna put a poll up now. I wish I could. I don't know how to do that, but I wish I could. I would put a poll up and be like, which theory was correct or the closest to correct. But anyway, so they're still trying to figure out Seth.
One
Go
more
ahead.
thing, real quick, and Sagittaria said something that made me go that I just not fully pay attention to the rankings of how everyone fell last week. Did she say that she was in the bottom?
I saw that too, and I was very confused. She said Sethlas didn't deserve to be in the top, and I didn't deserve to be in the bottom.
Yeah, and I was like, but you weren't.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. The drag wiki didn't have her in the bottom. I messaged my roommate. I'm like, do we need to change the points? Because I gave her four points for being high.
Right.
Yeah.
And like her critiques weren't so bad where it looked like she was in the bottom 3. It seemed like she was more in the top 3. That's why I was like, okay, I felt that justified more of the reasoning of her being upset that Sethlas was even in the top 2, because then it would be like, well, Sethlas took my spot, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? But I'm like, if she was underneath Samantha and Hornella, girl,
I don't think she was, and I don't think she
so either.
I don't think
wasn't
she
that bad at
right.
all.
I don't think she knows in that moment. I don't think she knew exactly where she stood. She just knew she wasn't at the top like she wanted to be. Like she wanted to be in the top 2, and she felt like Sethlas took her spot then, because she said that last week. And that's the crazy thing. She said, I don't feel like you should have been there. Like she thought she should have been like
where Sethlas was at. And I'm just kind of like, that's why I was like, but you weren't if Sethlas was in that spot, there were other people that were still better than you.
Yep. She would have been in my top 2.
By the way,
I know I wasn't here, and I had wildly different rankings than everybody else. But I really liked what Sagittaria had. It was probably like my favorite week of Sagittaria out of both.
I think I had her up high. I think I had Sagittaria in the top.
Maybe no. You didn't have her in the top because we all had Juriji and Samantha in the top.
Oh, I did. Yep.
I had Samantha in my bottom too.
Oh, wow.
But with that said, I had everybody like pretty high points except for Pupi. Pupi was way below everybody.
Pupi was below everybody, but
yeah.
Okay, I forgot. But yeah, I think Sag was third.
Yeah, I think a lot of us had said. Well, actually, no. I think I had Sag and Paquita in my bottom too.
You had Pupi and Sagittarius.
I had Sag and Pupi, and I had Paquita third from the bottom.
Yep. Interesting. Okay. Well,
which I want to say, I saw Wrath and I saw Lust in their looks. Like, I think they were there. And I think they were like, if you showed somebody a picture of them in their dresses and you said, which deadly sin is this? I think people would have got them. Because what else?
I don't know. People got Wrath from that dress though.
I mean, with the burnt roses.
No, because if we don't know what that reference.
No, I don't know that reference either.
Roses, because I'd be like Rosebud, like
right.
If I'm seeing a burnt rose, I'm seeing anger there, and they're like,
I didn't know that they were burnt. That was the thing.
Yeah, they're like
blacked out. They were so burnt.
They were like blacked out. But also people were like, why didn't you like make yourself all tattered?
Yes.
You want her to come in there looking ugly, like in a torn up dress? No.
Yeah, I wanted her to progressively get angry and progressively make the dress.
I wanted her to tear the dress up while she's walking down. But like I wanted her to start out gorgeous. And then
I actually loved how she delivered it, pulling off those roses. Like I got chills. I was like, "Come on, girl, do it."
But see, I think that's a lot of your bias too, because you were such a fan of Paquita, and I think that's a little part of
a lot of these people.
I mean,
I'm a bigger fan of Sethlas than I am Paquita, and I didn't like Sethlas.
I'm just saying the wrath of it. That's because Sethlas' look was just barely minimum of vain. Like that was. She did the bare minimum what she could do with that.
Vanity mirror,
put it on my body. Like she did the bare minimum. But when I think about Paquita, like I thought the dress was gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. Gorgeous dress. But if I just saw a still picture, I wouldn't have thought it was
But
anger.
you didn't see a still picture is the whole thing. And I'm like, this is the thing. I'm going to get on my
You're
little
coming
rant,
on the runway. It didn't look angry when she was walking until she started taking off the roses.
But you
So it's
saw her
like,
taking off the roses.
I
And
thought,
that's
look,
part of the presentation. You can't count that out. You can't be like,
But,
nope,
okay,
I didn't see that part. I didn't see that part.
Okay, but
David.
David, if we took a screenshot of when after she took all the roses off, how she looked, she still didn't look angry enough.
No.
I needed her to have a shoe. I needed her to have a shoe missing. I needed her to have her hair unkept and now not as pretty as it was. I need
because
her
if you're angry at somebody,
I need her to look pissed.
Right. If you're angry and wrath, not just angry, but wrath to the point of wrath, you're not going to be.
That's almost like
you're not going to be petite and pretty in wrath. Wrath is a whole nother level above anger.
That's like I hate you forever.
It's
I know. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that the point of the show is to be watched. And we watched the show. We watched the runway. We got wrath. We
did not get wrath. We got anger.
You got wrath. No,
we got anger.
Wrath light.
We got anger. We got wrath adjacent.
Well, I got sleepy from Juriji.
You got what?
Sleepy.
I did get sleepy from Juriji.
Sleepy is not the same as sloth.
Sleepy is sloth. Who's sloth?
They are not synonyms.
You know what? You cannot act like that is not sloth because what you do in bed all day is you are reaching, sir. You are reaching.
That's like saying I didn't see Green with Samantha. I saw Monopoly money.
My point is the message was conveyed.
I just think that for Paquitas, the downside was the fact that a lot of the background of the wrath came implied in the story, and it was one of those things where if you didn't fully know the story, then you would get, oh, she's angry, she's pissed, but I don't think you would fully get the connection of where the wrath is coming from, because I think that was like supposed to be really symbolic with each one of the roses for like I think it was like the 12
13 roses.
I didn't know that story.
Something like that. Yeah, like that was the because Logan was the one who commented on it. Logan said they 100% understood the reference. And I was like, I think that ended up being a bit of the downside too, is if you didn't fully get it, you would know, but you wouldn't get the full connection.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I saw her being angry. I just wanted more wrath. I wanted her to be angry. And yes, I did want her to be a little bit more toe up a little bit, but you know.
Because I feel like, too, if she would have done it, but done it like somewhat that same way and same style and presented and everything, but did maybe a character that we knew that was kind of wrath-like American-wise, maybe like a, you know what I mean, some like some forlorn like spirit or something like that. You know what I mean? That we knew of like in American folklore, then I feel like that it could have been something where we're like, oh, we know what you're doing. You're doing blah, 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 blah from this nursery story. You're doing da-da-da from this. And the wrath would already be like implied. And I bet a lot of people in España who were watching it got that reference already and were like, okay, no, we get wrath. This completely makes sense. And then for some people, it was like, she looked a little mad. She kind of taking some clothes off. And I was like, okay. I was in the middle. I was giving her benefit of the doubt, but I didn't know the reference. So
Well, we don't need to talk about last week. We're all this time. I'm sorry. I got
stalling.
You.
It's okay. No, because look, yeah, we really are not trying to talk about this week. Nope. But we'll get through it. We'll muster through it. So we get back into the workroom next day. We get the message from Paquita because they do that the next day. And so they come in, they read the message. Sethlas is like, I'm so sorry, Paquita. There you go. I'm like, are you sorry? But it's okay. Wipe it down.
Also, nice little fun note. We currently have more bald contestants than contestants with hair in the competition left.
Work.
There's even more now. Shit, but you know.
Right. Work.
So, there's only one with hair now.
Huh?
There's only one with hair now.
There's only one with hair now. Yeah.
Right. So, conversation quickly goes to Sagittaria, how she's feeling and how she's not,
she is dead behind the eyes, y'all.
Yeah, she's at that point she was dead. So, they keep going. Y'all have any workroom stuff?
Yeah. So they ask her like, so who do you think should have been in the bottom before Paquita? And she's like, I think there's two people that should have been in the bottom before her, and that's Samantha and Sethlas. And somehow somebody took that to mean that Poopy shouldn't have been in the bottom. And I didn't understand it to mean that. I took it as, okay, Poopy's where she belongs. Paquita
Either
should just jump up above Samantha and Sethlas. And honestly, that would have matched my rankings personally. But yeah, that seemed to just kind of set people off again, which is fair. Like, it's, if you're getting that critique, I get like being upset about that.
I think that where I disagreed with her with that, especially when she said Samantha, I said, wait a minute, what? There seems to always become this notion when it comes to design challenges that the better your outfit looks, then the better you've done in the design challenge. And I feel like that sometimes some people will look at a better constructed outfit that might not fully fit the brief as being stronger than an outfit that fits the brief, but it's not the best constructed. And that was really my only like mental breakdown of how she would think that Samantha should possibly be in the bottom of all places. Because I was like, well, maybe she's going off the fact that her third look probably didn't look the best, the most constructed. But when it comes to hitting the brief of it being greed, it did that in spades. And so it's kind of one of those where I like a lot stronger than her lust did for herself. So that's why I'm kind of like, I wouldn't see her ranking under you then if when the main part of the challenge was the third look and having it really hit concept, they were stronger on concept than you were. So I just, that was just me. I was kind of like, that was a weird name to throw out. I would have said maybe Hornella as opposed to Samantha.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm kind of the opposite. I first want it to be a very good look. Like, concept is secondary for me. In fact, there's been challenges where they're given unconventional materials and somebody will take it and they'll completely make it look like it was not an unconventional material to begin with. And I'm like, well, that's talent. That's talent. And then they'll get read, be like, I can't see the original material. And as long as they're not like taking fabric from the fabric wall,
Right.
I think that's super impressive when you can take something unconventional and make it look like you bought it somewhere. But I do understand with this specific challenge, you have to marry that a little bit.
Yeah, because that was what I was saying with the last review for last week, was because I was like, that happens sometimes when we have those unconventional material challenge, and it's not like it needs to fit a certain brief. It just needs to not look like a bunch of scraps or whatever. And in that retrospect, oh yeah, Sagittaria completely cleared a bunch of them out. You know what I mean? But this one also did have the brief of it fitting a specific category. And I don't feel like that it fully fit that as strongly as other people's fit their categories. So
that's fair.
Absolutely. So we get Supreme coming in, and Supreme comes in and tells them that the Maxi Challenge this week is they're going to do a girl group, and they're going to split up in teams, and they're going to come up with the song. Well, come up with the choreography, come up with whatever. Pick your teams. Go ahead and do it right now.
Yeah. And they have two versions. They have a pop version
and an urban version.
And Pupi, with her no hair do-rag wearing ass, no, she was happy about that urban version, honey. She was in the confessionals trying to and beatbox and, Grandmaster Flash. And I said,
yeah,
she's
like, mi gente, finally.
Finally, a challenge for me.
Calm down, uncle. Calm down.
She said, Pupi said, hold on. Yes, baby. This is what I've been waiting for.
Baby was ready. Like,
this is what I've been waiting for. I've been ready to go. Pop, 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 pop.
I said, if Pupi comes out rapping, I'm a strange.
Child. Child. I was ready to walk away. Child. Like, but they go to split up in groups, and so Samantha quickly grabs Sethlas. It's like, Sethlas, and then she looks over and she sees Juriji, who is holding on to Hornella, and she's standing there, and they're like, Juriji. She's like, oh,
remember what season you were on?
Right.
Season 2.
come on. And then she's like, oh, well, all right. And she walks up and they're like, and so Seth and Hornella is like, surprise.
Juriji was smart. She knew what she was doing. And
Yep.
it wasn't even a season 2 thing. It was, I'm finna be with the hype. I'm finna be with the people that got better rankings right now. That I actually feel like can achieve something in a girl group. Because being the other girl group looked like if there were 3 robbers in Home Alone and they decided to start dancing. I was like, what is...
We will get into it.
We will get into it indeed. But so the groups pan out, and it's Juriji, it's Drag Sethlas, and it's Samantha Ballentines, all of season 2, against Pupi Poisson, Hornella Gongora, and Sagittaria. And Sagittaria's like, fine, yeah, whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, and yeah, they go to pick what songs, which version of the song they're going to do. And Juriji's like, we like pop. They're like, yeah, pop. We like pop. And so they're like, yep, we'll do pop. And so Pupi was like, yo, ready to do urban, y'all, period.
We need like an urban nickname for Pupi. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm gonna think about that.
Urban for Pupi?
Yeah.
DJ Poop.
Right, DJ Poop.
Lil Poop.
Grandmaster
They're
Poopy.
poops a lot.
Grandmaster Poopy. LL Cool Poop.
LL Poo Poo. Hey. Shawty Poop. Shawty Poopy, baby. Poopy Shawty.
How about Fresh Poop and DJ Jazzy Poison?
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Not Poopy being 2 people at once. She's breaking the mold, baby. She's being 2 people. She is hip hop. She is DJ Jazzy Poopy with the fresh poop. Oh, man.
Her own hype person.
Fresh
She's
Poop.
her own flip-flop.
Fresh Poop. Oh, my God. DJ Poison, period.
Fresh Poop.
Pooper Poop.
Pooper Poop.
See, instead of it going beer, it go poop, 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 poop. Poop, 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 poop. Yes. That's how she brand all her music. You know how DJ Khaled always in the background, DJ Khaled. He'd be like, poop, 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 poop. And every song.
Poops the rhymes. Poops the rhymes.
Oh, no, we're not going to do that to Buster. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. But so they get to urban, so they off and they have to go to the real recording. And I got a little bone to pick with a certain person when we get to this point. But the guest producers were 2 girl group people who are involved in girl groups. It was Tammy Nusu from Sweet California and Carlos Marco from Orin. I don't know how to pronounce that. Orin. But yeah, they were the guest producers. And so here's my gripe. Tammy's a beautiful Afro-Latina queen. She's gorgeous. She's in there. She's doing her thing. She's ready to help.
Come on, Black Queen.
Period. And I think it was Samantha. Yeah, because they went first. They grouped in there. Samantha, Drag, and Juriji. They went in there. They went to record their things. And Samantha was like, she said something that I was like, hold on. Am I lost?
I know what. Yeah. There was a thing that was weird to me too.
She said, yeah, this little girl or this little person, she a little producer, she a little artist. Like she downplayed this girl's accomplishments, this woman's accomplishments. And she was like, yeah, this little one is helping me with like my words or whatever. She's literally trying to help make this song better for you. And I felt
good advice.
Really good advice. And she felt like she was downplaying her, but she was hyping up the dude that was there. And I was like, okay, Miss Ballentine, I don't want to call them microaggressions.
What did I just teach
I'm calling out microaggressions.
And what did I just teach you about the gay community and what's common in it. Misogyny.
Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? I'm calling out microaggressions when I see them because that's what I'm going to start doing with my life. And that there was a microaggression because what you not go do is downplay this beautiful Black queen's accomplishments in her group of Sweet California. And she trying to help you and you calling her a little girl.
While you look like a big old man.
Right. And that's a grown woman right there, first of all. Don't do it.
And you're an overgrown man, like an overripe banana. Like
Ovah?
Old.
Ovah.
Like
yeah.
One sheet of old toilet paper. You are old. You will age like the bottom of a cassava melon for the rest of your life. You will never, ever, ever touch her elegance or brilliance when it comes to your skin or its ability to collect moisture for the rest of your life. You will forever have a Sahara desert of a face and a goat desert of a cheek.
Samantha is 3 years younger than
Kalahari
me.
desert of a chin.
She looks older than you.
3 years younger. She's younger than all of us.
She looks older than all of us.
She's 36.
Wow.
So I would tell you, Samantha, I love you, but not during Black History Month.
No, what we not gonna do?
Wait till
I know y'all don't celebrate Black History Month in Spain. I know y'all don't, but
Cinco de Mayo, you can pop off. But until then,
but you don't call her a little girl. Like, don't do that. But that was the one thing that bothered me. That's all I have. But yeah, everything else was pretty much like they came into recordings. They recorded their parts.
I want to say something just in case this does happen to randomly make it to Samantha. If someone says to Samantha, you should know better. You are, like I said, old, but at the same time, there is such a horrible stigma when it comes to how queer men treat cisgender women. You should know better. You should be a little bit more respectful and be open to having her in that space and be respectful for her help, as opposed to treating her like she's beneath you because you're on the show and she's just helping you. Her check might still be bigger than yours. Don't do that.
Check probably is bigger than yours. Let's be honest. Her check is probably bigger than yours. Because she had to take time out of her busy schedule to come help you. You volunteered to be there. So, her check is probably bigger than yours.
And you're going to be dancing on a bar for $15. Don't do that.
While she's touring the world or the country or whatever.
Don't do that.
But yeah, they record and it come out. They did really good. I will say the first group, even in the recording, in the initial recording, it seemed like I was like, okay, this song could be interesting. This song will be good. I liked Juriji's verse from the get-go. Like when she started doing it, I was like, oh, I think this is gonna be hot. I think this one's gonna be hot. Because I was like, okay, all right. But that was before hearing all the other stuff that we didn't see. I was like, this one might be good. I was impressed. I was impressed with the first group, even at the practice stage or the initial recording stage. It was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
go ahead.
I didn't notice Juriji a lot in that. Like after that was over, I was like, did I miss Juriji? Because I didn't remember her recording the vocals. But we'll get into the vocals because I was very impressed.
One thing that I've been loving with Juriji this season is, you know how some people go into this competition and they go, I'm just coming here to have fun. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm here to serve.
Mm-hmm.
I know what my brand is. I'm just going to come here and have my best time, and y'all are just going to eat it. And that is the energy I feel like Juriji has gave since the minute she walked in.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'm having a blast here. The way she even answers like little questions and stuff during her confessional, she's always like,
yeah, she does that look every time.
Like, weak, nudge, like, I'm just, and I'm just like, I'm so glad you're having a blast doing it. Because I know that I felt like that she didn't have that like much of a like freedom with doing it towards around the end of her original season. And so I'm just happy that she's back and we got a new refound like lease on life. And she's just like, she's really leaning into like the little coquettish, naughty, milfy mommy. You know what I mean? I'm a little sexy fantasy. You know what I mean? Like, I hate, the only thing I hate, I guess I would say now, is the fact that we didn't get any like team challenge going further, because I would have loved to see her and Paquita as a team together doing just some sexy, slutty like performance or number or acting challenge or something.
And that is why I think Juriji kept Paquita. That is why I think Juriji kept her, because she wanted to work with her. She wanted to do more stuff. She wanted her around. It would have been so great. Could you imagine the swap between Pupi and Paquita in this situation instead of? It would have been so great, but yeah, I think
if this challenge, instead of being a girl group challenge, was a makeover challenge, and they had to make over each other. Juriji and Paquita on a team together, that would have been the win right there, easily.
That would be the Ovah Girls for sure.
Ovah for sure. But then we get the other group coming in, and then their recording was a little awkward, but that's because Sag was a little off. She was not feeling it. Even when they were coming up with the stuff, we could tell that Sagittaria was just not. She wasn't saying nothing. She wasn't really adding anything to the conversation. She was just like, whatever.
She was a human.
Yep.
She had 2 eyeballs.
Yep. She sat there. She had legs.
She was breathing.
Yep. Thankfully. But
and in hindsight, that was a big sign.
Absolutely.
That was a big sign.
Because how do you go from someone who was being very vocal and very talkative about something, and they're very passionate about how they're feeling, to now they're very withdrawn?
Just shut down.
She completely shut down, and nobody paid attention to her. And we'll continue to talk about that.
They sure talked about her, though.
They talked about her, but they never talked to her.
Never did.
And that was the crazy thing. But she was there, and everybody, their rehearsal wasn't as smooth, I'll say, as the first groups. They kind of went through it and had little moments of trying to figure it out. But the 2 people, Tammy and Carlos, they helped, and they gave, like I said, really good advice to both groups to help make this song smooth and a good transition with them.
Yeah, the one that really stood out to me in this rehearsal was Hornella. She started out doing like this falsetto voice for her verse, and it was like, oh, okay, that's a choice. But then they were like, why don't you just bring that down an octave? Yes. And then when she did, I was like, wow, that sounds really good. Like, she has a really nice voice.
Absolutely. I was like, I didn't know you had that voice, girl.
What happens is a lot of times with drag entertainers, especially if they're not like vocalists, is, especially too depending on what our natural voice sounds like, is for us a deeper voice kind of breaks the mental like effect of us giving the illusion of being more feminine. So you'll have a lot of people that'll put on a falsetto or somewhat of a higher pitched voice to hit that. And then the downside is if something happens where they need to sing, then it's almost like, wait, do I sing in that fake voice or do I sing in my real voice? Because I will say that someone who I like who sings in their real voice, but yet it still has a natural sexy smoothness to it, is Shea Coulee.
I knew you were going to say that, and I 100% agree.
There's a lot of people I feel like that have come out with Drag Race music and stuff, and it sounds like they're trying to sing in their character voice or make it sound like the character is singing it, but like with it being Shea and it being the style of music that she does, it just fits perfectly. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just, that's why I love the fact that when she switched that up, it flowed so much better and it sounded so much smoother. I was like, that's all you got to do. I was like, because you can carry a regular tune. So like, don't strain yourself.
Absolutely. The richness in that baritone voice was so sexy. And I don't care what you look like. Like, I don't think that's breaking the fantasy. And I think that's what a lot of, like you said, a lot of drag artists think they're breaking the fantasy if they're giving a lower, deeper voice.
It's a real antiquated notion kind of thing. It's one of those old school mental things that we've heard from generations of drag queens before us of like, drag being equaling to femininity, period. You know what I mean? Like a lot of that has been broken up over the past couple of decades with people becoming a lot more gender fluid and expansive in their drag, where it's like, yeah, I'm going to have chest hair. Yeah, I'm going to have a mustache. Yeah, I'm going to have a deeper voice. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if I want more people to start using, because I don't know about y'all, but a sexy, smooth, rich baritone voice coming out of anybody,
it works.
Sexy. It works. It's like, I would rather you sing down here and be low and make me feel like, oh, that's like melted butter kind of smooth. Like, instead of you forcing it and it sounded all really grainy against my ears because you trying to sing up here and your voice ain't naturally there. It's no.
James Mansfield.
Lucy LaDuca.
Let's keep it low. Let's keep it in the right mess.
And put on your
But look, anyway, we're gonna move because we gotta get to the choreography part. Okay. And the first group comes out and they're doing their choreography, and Drag Sethlas is leading the choreography and making sure they get places. And then all of a sudden, someone comes walking out behind them, and they're like, "Oh, you're here!" And I'm sure they thought, "Oh, he's gonna come and teach us choreography." He's like, "No, you're going to teach me the choreography, and then I'm going to teach the other dancers. So, show me what we got." They were like, okay. So they go into the 1 and the 2 and the bop. And then this choreographer got little hands when he came to Drag Sethlas. And I was like, sir, she is trying to teach you some steps. Not trying to have you freaking her and grinding up on her. Like, he was like, wow. And I was like, oh, I felt that. Oh, no.
But you notice what she did. She took his hands and redirected them like more sensitive areas. She's like, here, now put them here.
Here, it comes here. So I was like, well, maybe she did want it. I don't know. But
she's a horny queen.
She is a little horny queen. Drag Sethlas can get it though. Drag Sethlas is cute.
I said she's a cute one. She want to get one.
Drag Sethlas is a little cutie. Absolutely. But I feel like she know it. I feel like she's one of those like she's probably on OnlyFans in Spain, and they know that's what that is. Trying to get to know why she on set, honey.
But he was like, "I'm gonna give it to you too." Let's rock it. I was like, "Whoop, okay, then, sure, work." But that they were look this. Whole episode, we knew from the moment they got together to the moment they recorded and the moment they were choreographing this whole thing. I was like, they finna win. Okay, I don't really care what y'all say. They finna win.
I mean, even with choreographer Pupi Poisson,
even with choreographer Pupi Poisson doing the tap shoes, like this kickball chain. I was like, are we finna kickball chain in an urban song? Are we, Pupi? Is that what you're doing? I thought you was DJ boop, 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 boop. No, you talking about some kickball chain and a 2-step. I was like, what? But even in this moment, y'all, this is where I was like, if y'all are not seeing these neon bright light signs pointing at Sagittaria saying, I am not okay, you weren't trying to look. Because in that rehearsal, she was like, could we do, I think we should do, y'all don't want to do this? No? Oh, okay. No. We'll do it. Help. All right. We'll just. I was like, are y'all just that disenfranchised right now and so upset with her that you're not even looking to see that she is screaming for help right now? And y'all not seeing these signs. Like, I was like, something is wrong with her. And we're not seeing it. I was very annoyed at this moment. Very annoyed in this moment.
You know, I wasn't the happiest because it's just. I feel like that I wasn't the happiest too because I initially was one of those people that was a little annoyed with her last week because I was thinking, okay, she's just overreacting, this, that, and the other, whatever. But seeing how it is physically and mentally taking a toll on her just through this episode, I'm kind of like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a competition, girl. Like, if it's making you feel like this and stuff, like, nobody says that you can't bow out and then easily try to do something differently later, or it's like this isn't a one and done kind of situation. You know what I mean? It's not like if you do this and then you don't complete this or you don't make it to what you wanted to be or this thing or the whatever, then like there's no more hope for you in drag. There's no more Drag Race. There's no more this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? And then I know a lot of girls see this as like their only shot, but I'm like, shoot, you never know what can come up next down the pipeline. Hell, next thing you know, they might end up getting rid of Supreme's ass and having you host it.
Who knows?
You know, so it's like I just it was a tough episode to watch for us watching her, just because I felt for her so much.
But they go through the choreography, they get to the thing, we move. The next day, they're getting ready for the challenge, and the groups are pretty much separated themselves to get ready. And so the conversation comes up to Drag Sethlas how she felt about the comments that Sagittaria made, and she's like, you know, it is what it is. She can think what she want to think. I know, you know, who I am, blah, 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 sort of thing. Just totally disregard, which I'm like, yeah, absolutely, for Drag Sethlas. You can't change other people's opinion of you, and how they feel is how they feel. And it's like, it is what it is. I can't change how she felt in that moment. And if she still feels that way. But then before that, I jumped ahead because we got the conversation with Sagittaria came in and was like, I want to apologize to you guys. I want to apologize to how I was acting yesterday. I want to apologize to how I acted at the last challenge. I want to apologize because I felt like I was just, you know, I was just upset, and I just didn't feel, and I want to apologize to you guys for making you feel uncomfortable and all of the things. And they were like, I mean, what are you apologizing for? Like, it was kind of they needed her to, I don't know, come up with more reasons to
It's like they needed her to physically tell them, I was wrong.
And what reasons, like, I was wrong for saying you should have been at the bottom, or that I should, like, I was wrong and I am sorry. Like, I don't know what they wanted from her.
It's like they wanted it. For me, it really came off as like another version of gaslighting. It was almost like they wanted her to basically take back everything she said and agree with everything that they said and move on, and basically be like, yeah, you were having a crazy episode for no reason, whatever. And she's like, no, my emotions were valid at the time, and I was feeling what I was feeling. I maybe overreacted for how I was feeling, and I didn't want the energy to like make everybody else feel weird, but I wasn't just out there delusional. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of a little bit of what they wanted her to do, is to be like almost to recant her even being like thinking those things or voicing those kind of opinions. And I'm like, no, she should still be able to voice those opinions. You guys can just both agree to disagree and then move on from here.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this was where I started to get pretty annoyed during the episode, because like, whether or not you accept her apology, that's fine. Like, that's up to you whether or not you accept it. It was just all of the snide comments we started getting from them, like even in confessionals, even from people who were not involved in it at all. And I'm like, I'm disappointed in you, because you're somebody that I've been rooting for and I was hoping to see do well, and you're just coming across so petty when somebody's clearly like humbling themselves to apologize, and they're clearly not in the right headspace right now. So I was just getting very disappointed. I think the only person that I'll give some grace to here was Samantha, because when they did separate into the groups and they started talking about, what do you think of the apology? And Samantha's like, I thought she really meant it. Like, I felt that she was being sincere. And that's when Sethlas kind of shut it down and said, no.
And Samantha was one of the people that agreed with Sethlas originally at the beginning of the episode that she was overreacting and stuff. So for Samantha to be like, well, I believe her, like, they should have took more stock in that.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was just like, it just seemed like, no, we don't think your apology, we have the right to judge how you should apologize. And this just doesn't feel right to me. And it's like, that doesn't give you, it just bothered me. It bothered me too. I was just like, y'all just, I don't. And then it got mad. Somebody said, well, you're getting defensive. Of course she's getting defensive, because she apologized to you. And then you turn around like that wasn't enough. You wanted more. And she's like, what else do you want me to give you right now? Yeah. Like, it just, I don't.
because that is, I feel like, where the empathy ends up being lacking, because at the end of the day, regardless if they do or don't know each other, quote unquote, they are all still sisters. So they should still be able to grant each other some kind of grace when it comes to maneuvering through this pressure cooker of a situation that all of them have had to go through before. You know what I mean? Like it's that was just very off to me, you know. And I don't know, maybe it's because of the fact that the only other person there that's from season 1 is Pupi, and maybe they're using that as an excuse, but we don't know Sagittaria that well, or this, that, and the other, da. And I'm just kind of like, but at the same time, she's not some random person that just walked off the street. Like she started doing this before y'all did. So like, damn.
Right. But those conversations happened and we moved, because I think we right from that to the runway. So that's where we gonna go.
Go.
Oh, I forgot to take it off the loop. Ooh.
Oh, hold on.
And
outfit. I saw Supreme's outfit, and I was kind of a little bit confused by it at first. It wasn't bad. It gives me Miss One from the Wiz vibes.
And she just played.
And so I liked the purple. I mean the blue. And I didn't realize that the feather trims and the stuff on the side were purple. I thought that it was just like a shifting fabric that was shifting from like blue to purple when she moved. But when I know, because I have some fabric that's kind of like that. I don't know if you can. But it kind of shifts.
Yeah.
And it's one of the kind of fabrics that, like, when you take, it's like the
Is it Ivy Park?
Paris Hilton had, the one where like if you take a picture and like the flash hits it, the flash like it bounces back. It's one of those. And so I kind of thought that's what that was at first, and I was like, wait, this is really cool. And I was like, it's okay. Once I realized it's purple feathers, I was like, it's okay. But I thought Supreme had just hit us with a Brooklyn Heights level runway or something. But I was thinking,
I think she kind of did that though. I think the fabric is that blue fabric is kind of like shifting from a little purple, like iridescent purple, into blue when the light hits it, right? But it's one of those. It's just more bluish for sure. But I can look at the little side, like if you look deep within it on the blue panel, you can see a little purplish. A little bit.
I'll see what you're saying. By where Anna's at.
Yeah. A little bit. So I think she does have that fabric where it shifts, but the light hits it. But here's the panel. They're looking great with the guest judge, Natty Peluso. She's an artist who is pretty big apparently in Spain. So there she is. This is the panel. They all look good, I think. I think they all look good this time. For once, I can say everybody looks good. This pants that Natty is wearing, though, I'm not a fan of those pants. But
I'm confused by the pants.
Which half?
Not a fan of her pants.
Which half?
The child, it looked like she peed on herself on one side of the pants.
Half is denim and half of it went to Gag City, apparently.
Yeah, it's just not. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the pants, girl. But everything else, you look alright, I guess. But the hobbies are doing all right this week. I'm not even mad at their outfits this week. I'm like, all right. But Anna Locking, eat, work.
Queen Anna Locking.
Queen Anna always eats. But always eats. But we're going into the girl groups because we have the first group, the Ovah Girls, performing their song Superstar. Let's talk about this group, y'all.
I liked the cover picture of theirs. It was real cute. It was giving me 90s, like, not 90s, but giving me like 2000, like, I don't know, like hip hop, like, I don't know. It's like, it's almost like Salt and Pepper-ish or something like that, but if they weren't black. It's really like TLC, but if they weren't black, like hip hop, like it's very Destiny's Child if they weren't black, like very girl group trio, it's cute.
Very Salt and Pepper and Spinderella with Juriji in the middle, because Juriji is Spinderella with the pink tights on, and then there's Salt and Pepper. Yeah. Give me very Salt and Pepper, Spinderella, very, like you said, Destiny's Child. Juriji is Beyonce. giving me, yeah, TLC.
3LW.
3LW.
That's
Juriji is Adrian. You know,
Adrian Ballon.
Adrian Ballon. She is that. TLC, and she's T-Boz. Juriji is T-Boz. Yeah, it's giving me that. It's giving me that.
It's black with the Q.
Black with but
Yeah,
if they
black.
were black, you know.
Black,
I
they
love
were black.
I love it. I thought
They're
they
called
looked
white.
good.
They're called white with a Y.
White with a Y.
Yeah, that's
I love it.
If they
I
would
love
have
it.
white with a Y, they would have been
White with a Y. Maybe they'd be like, did they just say they're white? Yes, that's their name. They white. We had black. They can be white. I wouldn't care if a group came out and named themselves white. I'd be like, if that's what you want to go with, Bill, do you.
Hey,
Now show me how white you are.
Live in it. Love it and live in it.
Live in it. Love your
thought they
truth.
Sethlas at first.
Hmm?
I did not recognize Sethlas. Like this is a transformation for her.
Yeah. Well, it's also too because I just noticed she's wearing hair.
Mm-hmm.
She don't wear hair a lot.
She should do it more often, honestly.
Okay. Can I also say, to be very blunt, watching their performance,
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of Sethlas and the girls.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of Sethlas and the girls. It was very Sethlas. Like in order for me, it was Sethlas, then Juriji, then Samantha. Yeah.
See, I have pretty complicated feelings. Like this is honestly one of the hardest nights to judge so far. Because I do agree Sethlas was the standout. But then I had a hard time judging because I really appreciated Juriji's vocals. I love the vocals. Like she took something and she like added a stamp on the song that nobody else in either group did. So that alone could have put her in the top. But if you watch her when they're performing, she doesn't have the energy the other two had, and she was a little behind on the choreo.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say that too. I was like, I love Juriji to death, but for some reason, it's almost like that lackadaisical kind of easy breezy way that she like does confessionals and stuff was like the way she was performing and the song and everything was moving too fast.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't fully look like it was connecting. I was like, why do I feel like I know you're singing this and these are your vocals, but why does it not look like you're saying them?
Yep.
Right.
Like if it was a tight shot just on her, I think I would have appreciated more. But then when you see the wide shots, it's like, okay, it's not as cohesive because you're doing your own thing. It's a good thing, but it's just not matching.
Especially because you could actively see that Drag Sethlas was holding back.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see Drag Sethlas was not turned all the way up because he wanted to stay on level with everybody else. So it just made the rest of them look like they were trying to catch up to Drag Sethlas.
Yeah, I think that was, you saw the wave of how people were trying to match each other's energy, but it was kind of like very lopsided. And when they were doing their own thing, like you said, when they were doing their own thing, when Drag Sethlas was doing her spot, it was like, we saw Drag Sethlas at her peak. It was bam, she was hitting everything, saying every word, great. But then when she got with the group, she had to match their energy, so she had to bring it down because Juriji is very, and like even going into the stunts that she was trying to do, like when they were going to lift her up, she was kind of like, all right, here's my leg, pick me up. It was so, the energy level was not there. And Samantha was trying to be funny, but stay on beat and keep. It was just a lot. It was a lot. I think overall, they were still the best group, but I feel like they weren't perfect. Like it wasn't something I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen on Drag Race. This girl group was everything, but they were still the best group.
I feel like that even I was even trying to think like maybe they could have done the order of when the girls did their rap, like did their lyrics like differently, and maybe that would have helped the flow come off better. But it's like, no, not really, because if you would have had Drag Sethlas start, then Drag Sethlas would have fireballed out, and then the other two would have had to catch up, which obviously we know they wouldn't have been able to do. or you would have had to reverse it and have Drag Sethlas last, and then it would have looked like all the performances were mid until Drag Sethlas shows up. You know what I mean? So it's like she was just the more strongest and more present out of the three there. So she had to be the person to kind of play the straight man.
Mm-hmm.
Like she had to match their level. Otherwise, she was going to dwarf them, and they were going to dock her for it. So it was like, I get that.
Mm-hmm. But overall, I thought this was the better group.
Very much so.
They looked like a group. That if this was an album cover, I would believe it. I would believe it. I'd be like, oh, these girls about to come out and do something. I believe it.
And it's funny because they give that girl group of like friends. Mm-hmm. They're three girlfriends that have been friends forever, and now they're in a group together.
Right.
Like that kind of a situation. Like,
absolutely.
They don't look like the PTA.
Taking at their favorite bar or whatever, where they first came out with their first whatever. You know what I mean? It's very cute.
They definitely don't look. Yeah, they definitely don't look like the PTA. They look like
unlike
PTA.
That's what the PTA. They look like a fresh group of girls coming out of high school, college, starting a girl group. Period.
Okay, girls.
Well, this is the older sister. Samantha's the older sister, but she's the cool older sister. So she kind of like, yeah. She used
to buy them alcohol, but
right. They had a great time growing up. But we'll go to the next group, which is the 3PHC.
Speaking of the PTA.
And I was like, okay, I do like how they made the P out of Hornella being the P instead of putting P. But sure, 3PHC.
They should have Pupi there if they want it to be the P.
Maybe because she's poop.
Well, she's poop, not P. That's number 2.
Mm.
But yeah, so what do we think about 3PHC?
I have complicated thoughts on this group too.
Mm-hmm.
Because 2 of them, like, am I judging how much they auto-tune the hell out of Sagittaria and Pupi? Because their vocals were so touched up. Meanwhile, I thought Hornella sounded really good. Like we knew she had a good rehearsal, so her vocals sounded good. But as far as the performance goes, this might be a hot take. I thought Sagittaria ate them up with the performance.
Oh, she
did.
Oh, she definitely did.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was the only one who saw
that take, baby. You cool down with that take. That was absolutely true.
And Hornella, something about the way she looked and the way she performed, a word that comes to mind is frumpy. It was just an eyesore watching her. Like, this is the least I've ever liked Hornella, was in this challenge.
I was like, why did you take this woman from TJ Maxx and put her in a bodysuit and tell her to do a challenge?
And that wig?
Both of them. Wig. You took the front desk clerk and the manager from the local Marshalls, and you put them in some of Shangela's old outfits.
Oh my god!
It's very giving drag in a bag. If anybody's ever been to a drag show where a drag queen will pull someone randomly out of the audience and pull out a random wig and outfit out of a bag and will change them into drag on stage and have them perform a number. Sagittaria just pulled this manager and her employee out, on a Tuesday night after it was a hectic day at the Marshalls, and they just closed at 9:30, and they're there drinking their Dirty Shirleys. And she calls them up on stage. It's their first time out. Woo! First drag show. Woo! And she put them in drag, and now they have battled against each other. And the audience will pick who the winner is. This is fully what this is.
Okay. I had a thought, too, what I thought this was. You know how you have, like, a girl's doing a talent show, or they're doing a talent show of some kind of thing, and they say a category, they have different categories at the talent show. And one of the categories is you have to perform with your parents. The parents are going to be performing with you. It's like, if you've seen Bring It and they had the parents come out with the dancing dolls, then the parents have to be a part of the category. That's what this was. This was Sagittaria. She is the actual dancer of the group, and she's the one who's the star, and she's trying to get on this show, or she's trying to do, be in this talent show. And they were like, okay, different category is bring out your mom. And so she's like, my mom is here, but my auntie's here too. So both of them are going to perform because I'm extra, because I do the most, because everybody does so little. So I do the most. So she brought out her mom, and they've been rehearsing this number in their basement for like 3 weeks. And she was like, we go do this. I want to advance in this competition. So I need my mom and my aunt to come out, and we go do this number. And they worked on it for 3 weeks in the basement, and damn. 3 PhD.
I thought of a plot for a movie just now. Ooh. It's about a girl who has 2 lesbian moms, and she finds out at school that there's going to be a father-daughter dance, and she's like, crap, I don't have a father. So she's trying to figure out a solution, and at the end she decides, well, I got to take one of my moms, and she decides to bring both of her moms to the father-daughter dance.
No. The real plot is that there is a father-daughter dance, but what she's done is she's told each one of them individually and said she only wanted to go with them. So both of them, unknowns to each other, are both getting ready for the same night.
Because they split up. They're estranged.
Right.
Yes. It makes me think of like Bride Wars, but like with like stepmoms.
Ooh, other plot twist. Wait, the daughter, her mom, and her dad does drag. Her dad is the town embarrassment because he does drag, but it's a parent, like it's a mother-daughter or a father-daughter dance or whatever. And the townspeople was like, you can't bring your dad here because he's a drag queen and we don't like them around these parts and all this stuff. And she's like battling back and forth, like, do I go? Do I not? Should I stay? Should I go? And then she says, you know what? Screw you, town. I'm bringing my dad and my mom. And she said, I want my dad to be the drag queen, the amazing drag queen that she is. And her mom and her dad comes, and they all are dressed in these beautiful sparkly outfits, and they kill their number. Period.
So I have another plot. It is very similar to yours. It is a plot that we have seen and heard before, and I feel like that this would be very funny. Okay, here we go. Sagittaria and her mom just moved to a new city after dealing with a messy divorce, and the dad is still trying to get back into her life, Mrs. Doubtfire style. So she shows up in drag and cosplays as like a dance instructor or whatever to help get them ready for the mother-daughter dance. And then next thing you know, she show up to the dance too in drag. Boom, you find out it's the daddy. Because they asked for a last-minute chaperone, so she gonna work the party. Next thing you know, her wig get caught on a chandelier. It come off in the middle of the stage. It was you the whole time. This whole time. Like that. Like, yeah. It's Mrs. Doubtfire too. It's very
Period.
It's so funny because when Lana was saying her plot, when she was about to end, I was going to be like, and that's the plot for Mrs. Doubtfire too.
That was so I was going to. I was like, oh, this is so Mrs. Doubtfire.
We love that. Look, we can do a dance instructor for Mrs. Doubtfire to be the dad. We can. I'm here for it. Let's make it happen. Whoever out there, movie person, Mrs. Doubtfire too.
Or it's like a Miss Nelson is missing thing, and she plays like the substitute teacher to like get close to her.
Ooh, love. Work.
Well, with all of that said, I think I would have had Sagittaria safe out of this.
Absolutely, she would have been safe for me.
Yeah, I just like it. That's what frustrated me because of this whole situation. It's like, yeah, the latter half of this episode really just kind of frustrated me the way things went, because I was like, even with her doing all of that, I felt like that she wasn't going to get the praise that she deserved to get anyway, and she knew that, and that, yeah.
Yep. So let's let us go, because we do have a runway to get to.
Oh yeah.
And it's Divine of Death.
Runway.
That's the category, y'all.
One last thing that I forgot to mention, but I just saw in my notes. I did love how the Ovah Girls, when they finished their songs, they all took off their wigs and showed they were bald.
That was cute.
That was cute.
That was cute. I'm not sure if I put this in order, but I think I did. But we'll see. Up first was Hornella Gongora. David, you start us off.
Yes. I thought she was very pretty. I didn't know exactly what to expect based on the like verbiage of this runway theme. So I was like, what does this entail? And so my first thought when I saw this was like, I want it to be brighter colors. Like it felt like a really muted purple, and I wanted to see more purple. But I think it kind of makes sense more now in hindsight, just knowing that it's more the sparkle that is the focus. But yeah, I thought she looked really good. I love all the jewels on her neck. I thought the wig was really cool. So yeah, I thought this was one of her stronger looks so far this season.
I would agree too. For me, I almost wish that she would have taken it to like. I feel like that. I mean, I guess she would have had to change up makeup and stuff, which I mean, I understand that's not the easiest to do. I do wish that she kind of would have went a little bit more with kind of like the blue and more muted colors in her face, because it looks like her face is just ridiculously warm and then everything else is just so cool. And I feel like that it would have just looked maybe really cool and crystallized White Walker, maybe like crystallized ready for the runway kind of a situation if she would have done maybe some blue or purple more tones in her blush, in her face makeup, just to pull the whole thing down and make it look a little bit more colder. But that's just me nitpicking. Just because the disconnect kind of gets me a little bit when I go from her face color to her neck.
Yeah.
But other than that, I love the effect of the body suit that's underneath and this like coat that she has over it. The sleeves are nasty. I love a good sleeve. I'm one of those drag queens that I love a good something that has a little movement or a little extra zhuzh when it comes to your arms or your hands. So when you move it around, it kind of adds to this allure and this fantasy that you're giving. I like it. I like it a lot. And I feel like that Hornella is always one of those kind of people that I felt like has not given me crunchy runways. Thank God. Like, I feel like that maybe her crunchiest runways might have been the first 1 or 2 weeks of her original season. And then after that, I ain't seen one from her since. And I love it. So.
Yeah, I think that I like this look. I think it was a decent look. I agree with you about the face. Like, I wanted it purple instead of pink. I wish it was like a purplish or a bluish kind of. Because if what I'm thinking is the point of this is like a frozen death or like, I don't know.
It almost gives me like White Walker, like what are those, like the frost people or whatever from like Thor, you know what I mean, where they have like this, like they look like they live in sub-zero temperature, so they
absolutely
look right, like lips are real purple
and cold, but you know they're not cold because that's what they live in. But
right. I
like that idea. I wanted that more in the face because as you like you said, the neck part is so purplish and dark and bluish. I wanted that in the face. Like if she would have continued that on in her face makeup, I would have been like, work, beat down.
Like a ghost from the Titanic, maybe.
Absolutely.
I think also that would have helped a little bit more. Not saying that it was bad, but I feel like that would have helped emphasize the blending around her forehead a little bit better when it came to the wig. If she would have done deeper colors, because I feel like that she could have either done that, and then that purplish would have like faded into the blue of the hair. It's like that disconnect of pink right here, right on top of that blue. It's obvious that it's like, this is the wig. You know what I mean? Kind of a thing.
Scores.
I gave it an 84.
I give it an 85.
I gave it 78.
Hornella Gongora.
There we have Sagittaria.
So your answer is no. These are not in order, but that's okay. That's okay. So when Sagittaria came out, in that bottom left look, I just saw pure glamour. I was living for how she looked when she first came out. I really love that. And yeah, the more I saw it, like she started to take things off. She took off her I don't know, robe, I guess you would call it. And then it just kind of became like a bedazzled bodysuit. And I definitely didn't like it as much. I do like the wig though. The wig is a good touch, but I feel like she did not fit the brief as well as most of the other people. But I still just really love that bottom look. And it's one of those complicated things where I'm like, do I judge it on how much I like a part of it, or do I judge it on how well it fit the theme? So I don't know. I'm gonna take off some points for not matching the theme as well as the others, but that first look, I really like that.
Yeah, I like the looks. I love what they're giving. The bottom left one looks like a painting. It looks like a Parisian like watercolor that you would see in a cafe or something like that. I think that the issue that I had was the fact that it did seem like it seemed like she had the opportunity to do two references and she didn't, and she accidentally ended up mixing them together, and it made a subpar look overall. I feel like that the headpiece is a little bit too sparkly for the bodysuit. I either would have wanted less sparkles in the headpiece or more sparkles in the bodysuit so that they would go together. But I do feel like that it could have been a bit of a missed opportunity because she's doing like the rain droplet kind of situation, which could very, very, very much have been like a la Kim K's Met Gala look. But it didn't fully go there. But then also with the wig, it's giving me that it could have been a Cher reference, but it doesn't fully go there either. So it's in a weird in between place where it's pretty, but it's not wowing me. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I did like. I'm curious if you liked it. I did like when she came out and she kicked off her shoes and then just walked on her tiptoes the rest of the time. I thought that was a cute touch.
I was like, she's trying to add some personality in when she can, because Lord knows.
True. Well, for scores, I gave this an 89.
I gave this one an 80.
Okay. And it looks like Lana also gave it an 80.
Work.
Okay, so next up we have Pupi Poisson. We're back on track.
Go ahead. Go first. Sorry.
Okay, so I love the reference. Death Becomes Her. Yeah, I was very late to the game watching Death Becomes Her, but I've now seen it a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't see it until I think 2000. My old roommate was like, "You got to watch this," and so I watched it.
Not that bad. I have some friends that still haven't seen Clue.
Oh, sorry. No, I said it wrong. It is bad. 2020 is what I meant.
Oh, 2020? Yeah.
It was much later too. I was like, wait, that was only 4 years ago. But then I realized, oh yeah, I misspoke. But yeah, I just think it's such a fun reference. But what I like about this is that she went with camp, but she also kept it really pretty. Like I think in her face, in that wig, like that's the prettiest I've seen Pupi. So she didn't like just take it to like the extreme. I think she matched the level of Goldie Hawn with campiness. So the candelabra coming through her with the hand holding it, I thought that was a very cute touch, of course. Yeah, I thought this was a success for her for sure.
The only thing that I do not personally care for in this is with a lot of drag queen outfits, they have those like cup shoulder kind of pieces with the fringy things on them. It's on a lot of those like bodysuits when the girls are bucking and kicking and splitting and stuff like that. So part of me just wishes those little pieces weren't there. If it was just like more sleek all the way down, especially given the way that it's so structured and everything towards the bottom and then kind of like cinches and goes straight down, it would give. I feel like that this was very much a drag interpretation of it. And that's me personally being like, I love drag, but also I'm a fashion girl too. And I feel like that if you would have taken those shoulder pads off, it would have added a little bit more of a level of elegance and not having been so on the nose with the drag. Yeah. If it would just look like it was just her shoulders straight down as opposed to looking like she had two like 80s shoulder pads on top of her shoulders. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good point.
It almost makes the top look like a jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm kind of like, it's kind of framing you a little hard. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather it had been just her shoulders straight down, so it had this like sleek look to it, where it almost gave more of a vamp situation, and not like a drag queen doing this.
True.
You know?
Yeah, but I usually don't mind if something's dragged up a little bit, but I don't
Yeah,
think
I
she
was
needed to.
that's totally me nitpicking because the outfit is stunning. But like, that's just if I was doing it personally. But I even love the hair and the little bang and the. This I would say is my favorite runway from Pupi so far out of the show. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Logan, if Logan was here, would love this look, I think, because Death Becomes Her, something he loves. They love to reference and see when they see anybody doing a Death Become Her look. They love it. So maybe they'll love it. I don't know. I think they'll love it. But I like it. I do. I do actually think it's one I agree. I think it's one of the better things that Pupi has worn. So I'm a fan of this. I like the wig. I like how she presented it. And yeah, I like that. Scores.
I gave it an 87.
I'll give it a 80. I'll give it 87 as well.
I gave her an 88.
Come on, Pupi.
Word.
DJ Pupi Poo.
Pupi Poo. Up next is Drag Sethlas.
She doesn't miss unless she has to make it herself.
I must say she missed before, but this one
is so dang good. And you get the whole like Carnival and honestly Canary Islands vibe from it. So like I was just so impressed with it. I love the red, the headpiece is everything. Like she knows how to pull off a headpiece. Yeah, I like that she wasn't wearing her typical boots with this too. Like we saw her with like a normal shoe. So I thought that was a good touch. This was stunning. I don't have a lot to say about this one. This was my favorite look though.
I feel like that Drag Sethlas is someone that is like very, very much reminds me of Saphir Crystal. I think that they are someone in their drag where more is more, and that is part of their drag aesthetic. I think that they do it for two different reasons. I think Saphira does it because she is also a large person out of drag, so it helps scale her down to make her look smaller. I think Drag Sethlas does the opposite, where Drag Sethlas is a small person, but they use a lot of huge, large pieces or headdresses to make them look taller or appear bigger. And I think that they are just really good at doing that. And that's something that's ingrained in their drag aesthetic. So that's something for us that always seems like it never misses because everyone else will come out in a cute look that fits them or whatever. Drag Sethlas is going to come with 2 to 3 times more stuff on them on purpose, already out the gate, because they're trying to be on the same level as everybody else. So it's like when every time they randomly turn a corner and you see this ridiculous jumbo coat or this long ridiculous train or this ridiculous ornate headpiece or whatever, it's just like that's just come to be known. That's the level of drag that Drag Sethlas is going to be doing. And it's like, if you're going to try to beat Drag Sethlas on the runway, you need to be bringing that. Period. Even if it's not your aesthetic, you need to be bringing that. Like, I put it this way. For Sagittaria's look, if Sagittaria's umbrella would have been 2 times bigger, and her dress would have been, and that little red ruffle thing would have been 1 size bigger and cinched in more, it was more like La Croix poof flared out. Like if every girl took the drag aesthetic that they had and put an extra in it, then like when they come out, I wouldn't see it so much as Drag Sethlas just dwarfing them all the time, because that's what it's starting to feel like. It's starting to feel like everyone's got really strong runways, and then Drag Sethlas comes out and just burns the whole runway, and then there's no point nobody else even walking. You know what I mean? And I'm like, girl, y'all got to know who y'all going up against. Because if I put it from this way, day one, if I would have saw Drag Sethlas doing stuff like this, I would have been like Fifi O'Hara when she was on All Stars. She was making stuff in the hotel room, and she's making whole jumbo cosplay looking cannons and guns out of Gatorade bottles and milk jugs. I would have been putting everything together like Cat did when she saw what's her name with that back piece, so she made her a back piece. I would have been doing that. It's like, that if you want to win and they are going to be bringing this, and you know they're going to be bringing this every week, y'all got to step it up. because she ain't gonna come down at all. I feel like that her with the mirror look was probably one of the weakest looks we will see Drag Sethlas have for this entire episode. I mean, this entire show. So it's like, y'all gotta do something.
True. Someone's hot on her tail, though. We'll get into it. But
true, but I'm like, y'all. I'm like, that's she's got the you know what I mean, like the hurdle you got to jump over. It's like Drag Sethlas is so fast.
Is this beautiful? Absolutely. It's stunning. It's gorgeous. It's what we expect from Drag Sethlas. What does this have to do with the theme? I don't know. I don't know what this has to do with the theme. And that is my only problem with this look. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. But it has nothing to do with the theme.
Really? It's like shiny, right?
The theme is not shiny. It's divine by death. Divine of death is the theme.
What does
This
that
has
mean?
nothing to do with shiny. It's like, where's the murder scene? Where's the death? Where is the... It's supposed to be about death and darkness. And where is that?
That also was something that made me be confused in translation. And I thought it might have been something that I missed. Because half of these girls didn't do stuff with death. Sagittaria was singing in the rain. She wasn't dead.
Really only got one doing thing with death, and that was a death.
That's why I was like, did I get that right? Does this mean something different there as opposed to here?
I mean, I feel like Hornella's was ghostly. I felt like Pupi did death did a reference of death becomes her after she died. Now Sagittaria, I don't know what that was.
Right.
Not sure about that.
That was my issue, because I was kind of wishy-washy, because some felt like some did and some actively didn't, and that's why I was like, are we not possibly getting the phrasing right in translation, or maybe it's a term that means something else there that we don't know, or it didn't seem as cut and dry as like it is sometimes, you know?
I
feel like it was one that explained.
It could definitely be translation issues, because I feel like from what I thought it was, I'm like, okay, this is supposed to be about death or a divine death, or you don't have to be like dark or ghostly, but like something about death. But I was like, I don't get anything about death here. Like, I don't.
Maybe she's a phoenix.
Yeah, I saw something like the thing I kept seeing was things about sparkles and shiny. And so that was the common thing that everybody had, was that there were like crystals and shiny. And so that's kind of what I thought the theme was.
Let's ask the audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Guys, drop in comments. Let us know if maybe we are interpreting this challenge incorrectly, or maybe there is like a language barrier that we are not seeing when it comes to the description that we got from the show, subtitle wise, of what the name of the challenge was, as opposed to what it's actually supposed to be giving. Just because it's not fully as clear for us as like the color yellow or something like that. Right. You know what I mean? It could be something that could be more colloquial, or something that's more regional that we don't know. So.
Absolutely.
And I do have a little bit of context, at least for the Strass part, but it says that the meaning of that is a flint glass with a high lead content used to imitate gemstones.
Okay, so sparkled and death.
I'm not sure what the divine of death meant.
Because it was, I forgot what the thing says.
Strass, divine of death.
Huh?
Maybe that's just a term.
Oh,
like maybe it doesn't mean death actually.
Strass. Oh, okay. It was like a suggested search. Strass, Devina de la Muerte. But Googling it, it's a lot of Drag Race España stuff. So I'm like, I don't know.
Well, y'all tell, but judging based on the look, though, it's still a beautiful look. It doesn't matter what the theme was. The look itself is beautiful. And if the judges felt like this was the theme, it felt like it was the theme. But it's a gorgeous look. Can't take away from that. So, scores.
I gave this a 97. Eve?
I gave this a 95.
Okay.
I gave it a 95 as well.
Okay. And I did find a little bit of clarity here. So I found on Google here um, that Strass is a word for shiny beads or gemstones. Devina de la Muerte is an expression that you use when a woman looks stunning, total perfection. So it's kind of drop dead gorgeous.
Ah.
Yep.
So okay, so it could be sparkles and just looking spark
Yep.
spartacular.
Yep.
So
Okay.
it's really it's drop dead gorgeous, but like in like Poopy's case, she played more campy with it.
She
And
went
with
literal
like,
with the, yeah.
Okay.
that's what I'm
Gotcha.
saying.
Gotcha.
Does
All
that
right.
change your
I
score?
would have done
No,
something
still
from
still
I would
95.
have done
I mean,
something
I
from the
gave a
movie.
great score.
True.
I would have done something from the movie Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like the giant ball of twine, but I would have done it rhinestone.
Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore. We just saw that.
They'd be like, I think I just misunderstood the assignment. Like that. Oh, that's so cool.
But up next is Samantha Ballentines.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So at first I was like, do I like this or do I hate this? But I think I liked it more when she took off the wig. This is the only time in my life I've ever said I like Samantha more when she took off the wig because I notoriously do not like when she takes off her wigs. But then when she took it off, I was like, okay, you look an like a human disco ball. Like you look like you're a disco ball that became a human. So I thought that was really cool. She went all out with the face.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I wish I just liked the bodysuit part of it a little bit better. The coat's pretty. Um, it's a very good look. It is probably my least favorite of the night, but that's not saying much because I thought everybody was pretty good.
So little drag pet peeve. Um, Nothing personal, but for me, when it comes to showing off an identity of like looks and expensive and stuff like that, a lot of girls will use stones or beads or fringe or you know what I mean, or little mirror pieces or whatever to give off this shiny kind of sexy effect. The downside is the fact that a lot of times, if you end up getting them in large shapes, they come off looking crafty and cheap.
Mm.
Almost like when you go to Michael's and they have that little plastic container full of all those little gems or whatever. It's like the bigger ones, you know, those aren't real big rubies that are actually this big. You know what I mean? It's red. That's plastic with some red stuff on it. So I kind of have a bit of a pet peeve when it comes to people that use mirror pieces, but it's the big ones. And like that's what's taking me a little bit out of the bodysuit and the fact that she has some on her face because it very much looks like that she bought like a $10 pack of mirrors from Michael's and glued them on a bodysuit.
She got the
Um,
measles.
yeah, it's like it just takes a hair of the refinement away from me, and for some reason I feel like that it works better if they're smaller. If she would have had smaller ones put everywhere, I think that would have hit the light a lot better and not look like you have whole mirror squares all on your body. You know what I mean? It's like it makes me think of you will not get this reference, Lana. Daniel, you will get this reference. It makes me think of season 3 RuPaul's Drag Race. Mimi, I'm first. Girl, this is Lee Bowery.
Mm-hmm.
Where she had the big mirrors and all
Yep.
that on her face and stuff. And it just looked not campy in a clean way. It looked campy in a cheap way. I really loved when she did do the wig reveal because then I feel like it kicked it up more of a notch of making it more high fashion. It really made me think of Venus's runway look that she did for Canada's Drag Race with the all
Oh yeah.
encrusted head thing she did with the all encrusted bodysuit. Like that's what it was kind of giving me up here. And I was just wishing that up here would have been mirrored more down all the way here, where it looked like that, like you know what I mean? It would look like her whole body and the bodysuit were all one thing, not like she was sparkly in a bodysuit that had sparkles on it. But and the white and the leg out. I mean, hey girl, you get that chicken leg out. I guess you know. I don't know
She
why.
ran out.
Just that right.
That was
opaque
my
type.
critique. She
She
ran out
ran
of
out of
mirrors.
stones and
So she
fabric. That
couldn't
one
fit
opaque leg for no reason. But I'm like, okay. It looks like she stole it from a mannequin from Macy's. That was in the window. I want her coat. I will say that. I want the coat. But I will say as well too, I've been really happy with Samantha's runways this season, and that was the biggest critique that I felt like that she got on her original season was like she's got all the goods personality wise and comedy wise. It's just her runways were always subpar, and like now she's actually been holding her own with some of the girls with these looks. So I'm like, for the glow up, regardless, Samantha, go ahead, girl, go ahead.
I already said my critique, so I don't have to say it. Scores.
76.
85.
I gave her 77.
Samantha Ballentines.
Juriji.
Mom.
Yeah, there's not much to say here. Like, this was a stunning look. It seemed like it would be hard to balance, but she was pulling it off very well. I just thought this was a really cool concept, and I like how big she went with it. See, this is the one that I was saying is kind of hot on Sethlas's heels with some of the looks this season. So very good.
Yeah, I feel like that she took that into consideration. Not really just drag Sethlas, but just upgrading her drag that much more from her regular season, because her regular season's drag I felt like would come off a little more standard sometimes. It wouldn't have that extra oomph of drag to it, and like this is like Denali's drag look on steroids. You know what I mean? Like she is like, I'm every candelabra. It's all in me. But it also gives me like a Joan of Arc kind of situation with the like chainmail wig kind of situation under the head candelabra. It's everything. It's mother. I'm very happy that Juriji is Team Eve the Bunny. That's all I'm saying. Her.
This is a beautiful look. I don't even want to talk about the draft, so teams of anything. But this is beautiful. The headpiece is beautiful. The way she presented this was beautiful. I was a fan of this. I'm jumping on nutrient teams this week, so it's fine. I love this though. It was beautiful. Scores.
95.
Full cut.
I gave her 90. Yeah. That is that. So we get to the runway, and they are giving us who is the top two of the night, which is a shock to no one, but a shock to some, maybe. I don't know, because I was kind of interested in this. This threw me. I'm not gonna lie, but I was like, they're not gonna give it to drag 3 times in a row. But it was Juriji and Samantha were the top 2 of the night. I was like, this is the week y'all decide not to give it to drag when it should have been last week, but y'all gave it to her then. And then this week you don't, when she actually deserves to be in the top.
You want to know what sucks the most? Is if I would have gotten a little bit more out of Sagittaria's runway, then it should have been drag Sethlas and Sagittaria in the top 2.
That's what I was thinking. That's what
Honestly.
I was thinking.
And that I think is also one thing that, because maybe Sagittaria just doesn't realize or maybe she's thinking the things that she was doing is giving more of an effect than they actually are. I don't know. I feel like there's some kind of a disconnect, but I feel like this was just very, very another like camel that, you know, like piece of straw that broke the camel's back when it came to, you know, Sagittarius making the decision that she made and saying the things that she said. Was like she saw another opportunity where she worked her butt off. She was better than the other people in her group and half the other people in the other group, yet for some reason she's still not top 2. You know what I mean? So it's like, that sucks. It really, really does.
I mean, I wouldn't have put. Yeah, I think Sagittarius definitely did way better than
I wouldn't have put Samantha in the top 2. I would not have.
No.
See, it's a little complicated for me because if I'm judging, okay, if we're saying, yeah, the winning group, it has to be 2 of the people from the winning group. Then, okay, yeah, Sethlas is locked in for a spot. And then am I judging by who had the highest highs? Because I really liked what Juriji did with the vocals. But then if I'm judging like who is more cohesive in the group, I felt like Samantha and Sethlas were more in sync. So like I don't know. I really don't know who I would have as that second one.
What I usually do is if I know that I already have one person in and I have the other people, that's like two people that I look between, I have to look and unbiasedly go, do on each challenge, did one completely out edge the other one? Because if in any way one of them was a wash and they both, let's say for instance, we both consider Juriji and Samantha's performance in the show a wash. Because Juriji had the better vocals and the better songs, but Samantha was the one that was more coordinated. Okay, well then let's just say they're even. Well then I would move to runway, and I would say, well, who took over who in the runway? And in that one, Juriji. So that's why I would put her in that spot.
Right, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that's what I would have done. I would if, like I say, if they both were equal, you gotta go to the runway. But in this case, I'm like, if you feel like they're equal, then go to the other team too, and be like, did somebody on the other team beat them?
Did they fully say at any point that they were being judged individually or as groups, or did they just say who the top two were?
They just said who the top two were. They just said the winning group was the Ovah Girls, and then here are the top two.
I think that it should have been judged individually.
It should have been judged individually.
Because no team had two people that killed. I'm sorry.
Right.
No team did.
Right. No team did. Absolutely not. It was stars of each team.
And the other two were catching up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But they were the top two. And then the bottom two were Hornella and Sagittaria, which I don't agree with there either. I was like, that should have been on the, if we're going to go with the losing team, it should have been Hornella and Pupi. Like, that's who should have been at the bottom. Because there's no way you could sit here and tell me that Pupi outdid Sagittaria in this challenge.
And see, with that, the only justification I would give, not fully agreeing, but I would say, okay, in that instance, Sagittaria completely cleared Pupi in the challenge. Got you. But with the runway, I feel like that
Pupi
did a really good job runway wise, but didn't fully clear Sagittaria. Sagittaria still had a very decently good runway. You know what I mean? So in their retrospect, it's like 1.5 by a half. It's like, so how is Pupi not in the bottom? That really makes no sense to me, because it's like Pupi's runway was in no way better than Sagittaria's runway. It wasn't better than Sagittaria's performance in the challenge.
If I'm being honest, like they even like during the critiques, they're like, we saw you like thinking about things when you were performing, and then they showed a clip, and I'm like, what I see is perfectly fine. For me, I think her placement was revenge for calling out production last week and saying that things weren't fair.
I think so too. And so we get the bottom two, and that's who it is. And Sagittaria quickly says, hey, I want to go. I need to leave. And Supreme says, no, you don't have a choice in this. You stay until they tell you can go.
And it's important to note, she said, I'm not well right now.
Yeah, she said, I'm not well. I need to leave. Now, when somebody tells you I'm not well and I need to leave, in that case, we need to stop worrying about this show, and we need to start worrying about the people who are on the show. And Sagittarius clearly not well in this episode, clearly wasn't doing well, and she asked to leave. I felt like it was so wrong for them to say no. Like, we could have still had the lip sync for the win, for the legacy, and Sagittarius just already been gone. Like, that didn't have to be, because it felt like now you need to humiliate her again some more and make her stick around, watch this lip sync for them to pull out and say she has to go, when she clearly wants to go already. She's like, just let me go. It felt icky to me. It felt very icky to me.
Yeah, it felt very controlled, and it wasn't. It didn't feel natural. It felt like that they didn't realize they banked on using, I think, Sagittaria being upset about how things are going to justify possibly putting her in the bottom and getting rid of her. But I don't think that I don't think they realized she wanted to just get rid of herself before then. And I feel like that from a production standpoint and from a show standpoint, that would have put a kink in the works, because they're like, wait, we still have 20 more minutes of footage to film. What are we going to do? Now we got to rearrange everything, whatever, and I just, because like you said, they could have still done the lip sync. There's nothing saying that she needed to be there for that. She could have already just been eliminated off of that. They could have easily set up and did a week where, another week where if this made them miss an episode or something, which it shouldn't be, because somebody would still be going home. I'm like, if in any case, you could have just done an episode where no one goes home. Like, you know how many spots you have, how many episodes you have left. So it's weird, because it just feels like that this put a kink in their framework of how they thought the episode was going to be going. And that was the main reason why they wanted her to stay. They cared more about the end product of a show than they did someone's emotional and mental state.
Yeah. I want to talk about this because I feel like there's probably a lot of fans out there that are seeing this and maybe not quite believing Sagittaria. And honestly, we got some feedback from these contestants, and they also made it pretty clear, we don't believe you. We think you're being a brat. We think you're being young. They weren't saying this to her face per se, but there was just so much of just loaded words in there that really was upsetting me. I was getting viscerally angry listening to this, because there are certain things that when somebody tells you something, you just, even if it defies logic, you just have to believe it. You have to give it to the benefit of the doubt, because yeah, maybe there were things that triggered in the competition that triggered her to spiral and to go into a depressive state. So what? It doesn't matter what caused it. She's there. And I can tell you from experience that sometimes when you are struggling mentally, it takes a lot of courage to say something. There have been times over the past few years, it's been a while since this has happened to me, but I remember times just being so upset and so depressed. And I would literally go through my phone and scroll through every single contact. And I'm like, I don't have anybody I can talk to about it. So the fact that she was brave enough to say something, that earned so much respect for me from Sagittaria. And it was heartbreaking just seeing everybody shoot her down and say, we don't believe you. We don't think that you're mentally unwell. We think that you're being a brat. We think that you're upset about your place. It was heartbreaking to watch. So yeah, watching the episode was honestly a bit triggering for me in that sense. It just really didn't sit well with me, and even today, it still doesn't sit well with me.
It was hard. It was hard to watch it. It's hard to talk about it. And so I'm going to move on as quickly as I can, because I don't want to talk about it too much longer. We do.
I want to say one quick thing, and then I will very quickly. As of today, I have been dealing with some Twitter mess regarding my feelings towards the Supreme's decision of Sagittaria not being able to leave, and this, that, and the other. So I just want to say this short, sweet, and to the point, and then be done with the whole situation. My opinions are my own. I am my own autonomous person. I am a drag entertainer and have been doing it for 15 years. That does not mean that I know more about drag than everybody. That just means I do know more about drag than some. And from my personal take, I didn't like the way that was handled. I didn't like the way that things have been handled on this season production-wise from Supreme, as well as during last season. I feel like it's taken a big departure from how season 1 and season 2 were. And I've heard from different people on Twitter that apparently they changed production for season 3 and season 4 as opposed to seasons 1 and 2. That possibly could be something as to why Supreme and the Javis are acting different now. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if for any reason that you don't agree with something that someone says, opinion based, not in any fact, you have the 150% right to not pay attention to it. Unless it is something where it is someone mandatorily telling you, you have to believe this non-fact that I'm telling you, you don't have to put any energy into it. You don't have to at all. You can let that person say whatever they want to say. My mother is one of those kind of people that taught me that sometimes you can't get people to see your side of a vision. You have to meet them where they are. And sometimes if that person isn't where you want to meet them at, you don't have to meet that person. And that's all I'm going to say there. So for anyone else who may have a negative opinion about what I had to say or what anyone else may have to say about Suprema or any of the other international hosts, just keep in mind it is an opinion. We all have them, and we can all agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm. And one other thing I want to add is I saw a different show this week where somebody also quit for mental health reasons. And the show took it very seriously. And the cast of that person has been extremely supportive on Twitter. And at the end of the episode, they gave a number for people to call if they're struggling with anything. So I would have loved to see the same thing happen here, especially because you got to take these sort of things very serious. I was telling both of them before we started that depression doesn't always look one specific way. It's very convenient for us to expect it to look palatable and have sympathy when it matches what we think it should look like. And maybe Sagittaria just was not expressing it in a way that made people in the cast or people watching feel any empathy for her. And really, that's not a Sagittaria problem. That's a you problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem with everybody else. She shouldn't have to present it in a way that makes you feel compassion for her. And that's all I have to say.
Yep. Good. I'm ready to move on because I don't talk about it no more. We do get a winner. We got the lip sync. The lip sync is by the guest judge Natty Peluso, and it's called Mafioso. And the lip sync between Juriji and Samantha. What y'all think about that?
It was Carol.
I don't really remember it. I think I was so tuned out at this point that I'm literally trying to remember a single thing that happens, and I can't.
So here's my thing. I thought right from the second it started, I said, okay, Juriji is about to win this because the judge, Natty, was so horny for Juriji. She was just like, oh, I thought she was gonna jump on that stage and attack Juriji how much she wanted. She was like, oh my god, she's so hot. Like the whole time. I was like, girl, are you okay? Like, Juriji, give out your number after it's all over. I get it, but she was just so into it. So I was like, oh, Juriji go win this because this judge is like pharaoh for her. Just oh my god. And everything Juriji did, she was like, oh my god.
I would say I felt the opposite. I felt that Samantha was going to win because the Javis are obsessed with her ass. Like, whenever Samantha lip sync on her season, child, you could have acted like Beyonce walked in the room. They act like she was the only star on the stage, period. And I was like, oh, we finna get a Samantha Ballentines lip sync. What's it gonna be to, baby? Because it's finna be wild.
But I will say, I enjoyed the lip sync. I thought they both did a really good job at this lip sync. I think both of them held their own and did their own thing where I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I wasn't mad at the lip sync. I thought it was a good lip sync. The song was okay. But I wasn't like bopping to the song like real hard, but it was okay. I thought they both did a really good job. I thought it could have gone either way for me, and I would have been perfectly happy with either one of them winning because they both did a good job. But the winner ended up being Samantha.
I'm very gagged by that. But I'm also kind of happy just because of the fact that, like, Samantha was a queen that like I didn't have an issue with. She was kind of endearing in her season, and I felt like I kind of connected with her a little bit more this time. So I wanted her to get a win. It's like a nice little redemption point. So I'm glad she got one.
Yeah, I like her way more this season. I did not like her in season 1. But yeah, like I've done a 180 on her.
Yeah, she did good. I was like, work, Samantha. You did well in that lip sync. You earned your win. And she chose to eliminate Sagittaria, which I'm like, good. She wanted to go. But then a lot of people were kind of like, with the backstage stuff at the Untucked, was like, because she was like, I mean, if you want to keep me, you go keep me, because apparently I don't have a choice here. So if you go keep me, I'll just fight to stay. But I do want to go. Huh?
Yeah, she was kind of like, I honestly just don't want to be here. So it's whatever. I mean, hey, she was in like a win-win situation because she was going to get what she was either going to get to stay and keep competing, or she was actually going to get to leave. So it was one of the two.
It was like, either way it go, I'm going to do whatever it takes to be here, or I'm going to go home, and I'm fine. Either way, I'm just, since the decision is no longer mine, since they said I can't just walk away.
Right. She's just like, the decision is whatever then. Just do what you need. Do whatever you want to do, child. I'll be sitting over here.
You know? And then they were like, what do you be like? They got mad about that. They was like, I was like, she can't breathe. Like, get off her neck. She can't breathe. But
they kill me doing that. You don't want to plead your case? You don't want to make
no.
I don't want to go.
I want to go.
No.
And I want to go. If you all keep me, then I'm here because y'all won't let me go. But I want to go. So do what you want to do at this point. What do you want her to say? What do you want? I'm like, what do you want me to do? I told you what I wanted. Now you mad because I'm not pleading my case. My case is I want to go.
I'd be like, you want me to walk about this bit right now? Walk right up out of here.
Because honestly, if I was Sagittaria, I would have did that. The minute they told me, oh, it's not up to me. It's not up to you. The choice is not yours, it's not ours. I'm like, no. The choice is always mine. The choice is always mine. So I'm going to leave. And I would have walked right up off that stage, and they would have just been sitting there without a TV show to do.
I would have been like, that's my cue. And I would
absolutely like,
right off. Wouldn't have turned around and gave I wouldn't have. No, actually, you know what? Yeah, I would have. I would have walked all the way back, and then I would have made it right to the end of the stage, and I would have turned around like I was going to do my farewell message. I would have looked at them like, trying to tell me I can't leave up out of here. And I would have walked right up out of here. Like, no, bitch, I'm gone. Period.
You ain't got to tell me.
And then y'all probably still gonna try to call me back for a versus the world. Watch. Because that's the thing, is if you did something like that, you know how iconic and viral that would go? They'd be all in their girl's damn inbox being like, okay, so we kind of want you back. We'll let you win this time. Duh. Like,
maybe, but yeah,
TV production is sneaky business.
But do we have a stupid draft update?
We do. So, as I pull this up, we did have somebody finally lose the last member of their team. But hey, Lana, don't feel too bad about it because I lost the last member of my 3-person team last week. Yes, with my roommates. I did a separate draft, but yes, I had the first 3 people out. But as far as this draft goes, so now we have Lana in last place with 15 points. Unfortunately, she's going to stay at 15 points. Yep. And then we hop up to, let me see what I did there. We hop up to second place with Eve. You have 25.5 points. And then in first place with a very commanding lead is Logan with 45 points.
It's okay. It is okay. All I need is another win for Team Bunny to bump me back up next week. And Hornella hasn't had one yet. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, there's 2 episodes left, and I think it might be mathematically impossible
for you to catch up.
No. So in my mind, I think that the top 4, because we only have 2 episodes left. So we'll be, we have 5 next week, and then we'll have 4 for the finale, and then they'll pick from the top 4. So in my mind, I think that there is still a 50-50 chance that somebody from Team Eve will win.
So
True.
you're saying 2 people from Team Logan is getting eliminated in the next 2 weeks?
I think that yes. I think
Eve is saying that
two
she
Team
could have the
Logans.
winner.
I think it'd be 2 Team Logans versus 2 Team E's for the final, and then it'll end up being 1-1.
You could have the winner, yes. You can. I don't think you can win the
Win the
draft
draft, though.
points wise. Yes.
But I could still have the winner, and at the end of the day,
Oh, absolutely.
that's what's most important.
There we go.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we've done it. We've given all we have of this. We've even pulled out 2 hours of an episode that we didn't really like. So
Well,
it is what it is. Work. But we'll be back the same time next week. Different panel probably. Talking about the next episode of Drag Race España. Do all the things. Hit all the buttons. Subscribe to each channel, this channel, the Cup TV, the Cup ESD. Do all those things. Join our membership. Do a super thanks if you feel. We appreciate it. Follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at the Cup Pod, where we put all of our funny moments there. So check us out over there. Follow us on Twitter if you want. You want to have some Twitter battles like with Eve? Sure. Who cares? Do that if you wanna. If she has time for you, she'll have time for you if she feels
Fight
like it.
with her, not against her.
Or fight with her, not against her. Period. But or if you want to try to start a beef with me and David, that's probably impossible to do with David because David just ignores you, and I do too. So, because I don't have time to be beefing with y'all unless I have time. That ain't true. Some days I have the time. Some days I have the time. I'm having the time right now on a YouTube comment, so I have the time. Try me if you want to, but
I'm curious.
but yeah, do all those things. Follow us. Get your cup merch. Duh. Get your cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. The link will be in the description below. And yeah, on that note, we'll check you all later. Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers. Bye.
DJ Poopy Poop out.